What the fuck is he talking about? What is he saying? Why did he just start talking? He's fighting. I don't know who he's talking about right now. Why is he even saying this? He's a psycho. This guy's an absolute psycho. They're just talking, and he's like, oh, you guys think we don't do shit? Oh, we do shit. If we didn't do shit, this whole fucking place is gonna go boom. You want New York to go boom? You want DC to go boom? Look at my schedule. What the fuck are you talking about, man?
Well, I can tell you right now that the judge that gave a smack on the wrist on the one agent that lied and, misled the American people, that's the same judge who's back and stopping Donald Trump from doing things, isn't it? Judge Boasberg?
Yeah, I just got to push back.
I got to push real quick. Boasberg refused to hear this. She doesn't even have that fact right. Boasberg actually basically said, this case isn't for me. I don't have jurisdiction in this case. The one they're talking about right now, Boasberg actually refused to hear the case that the Supreme Court just ruled on. Boasberg wouldn't hear it. So she's even got that wrong. They went to Boasberg, but Boasberg didn't rule on it. And now here's Dan Bongino. He's been raging long enough. He's got to push back.
Listen, we've been here 2 months. He's been here a couple more weeks than that. I mean, we've been here 2 months.
Hold on. I got to push back on something because it sounds like you want us to be accountable. And I want to make sure to tell you that we shouldn't be held accountable for anything.
You're dealing with a 38,000 member organization and an approximately $12 billion budget.
Fair point.
And 2 fucking morons that are leading it. 2 coked out fucking morons that are leading it. That's the other party left out. There's a big budget, which Kash didn't. Remember last week, they're like, hey, where's your budget, dude? It was due a week ago. When are you going to give it to us? I don't know. You got 2 morons. That's the real problem. It is complicated. It is complex. Maybe that's why you don't put people in charge who don't have any experience and who were podcasters like 12 minutes ago. He's now saying, make sure not to blame us for anything.
To expect us in 2 months to dig up what was a 8-year, maybe longer, multi-year politicized investigation with multiple layers of processes, from Woods procedures being just thrown in the garbage can and flushed down the toilet bowl, to multiple layers of accountability.
It's not what happened. It's not what happened. I got a question about this, though. Dan, fucking brilliant Dan with your 130,000 viewers. How do you know all this shit? He's like, we need more than 2 months to show you all this shit, all this corruption. How does he know about it then? If he already knows about it, why can't he show us? Do you see what they're doing here? This is the problem with this. They went in with the premise that Crossfire Hurricane was illegal and they were going to prove it to everybody. And now they're like, we can't prove it yet. We've only been here 2 months. Why are you going in with the idea that it was illegal in the first place? Why have you already then decided? See what they're doing here? They're telling you, we're not going to show our work, but we already know that it was bad. We just can't prove that it was bad yet. This is they are admitting on live TV right now, hey, we're starting with the presumption that this was bad, and we'll let you know later. Otherwise, certainly they could show us, right? How do they know the 8 years and the multiple layers? How do they know all this shit if they haven't had time to know all this shit yet?
Where people lied and obfuscated. I'm not asking you to trust me. You want this done right, yes, or you want it done quickly? Because you can't have it both ways. You want it done quickly, we'll do it. And you know what'll happen? Just what happened last time. Those same Spygate.
I also want to know who the fuck he's talking to right now. That's the other thing. Who's he talking to? When he says, you want it done right or you want it done quickly? Who are you talking? Nobody asked you to do it quickly here. I think he just got tired of sitting there. And now he's fighting some straw man about a question she didn't ask. I don't even know who he's talking to.
Collusion perpetrators sued the government, got money, got all this shit. You want that? We'll do it. We'll do it quickly and do it wrong.
But are you saying you found things that even you didn't know about? I mean, you were at the core of this.
Yes. I was the lead Russiagate investigator for the House Intelligence Committee. And
yeah, he worked for the Republicans and it didn't work. He didn't do a very good job, did he? Sure didn't. He did a pretty shitty job. I was the lead investigator. Oh yeah, where were the prosecutions, bud? Where's all the people locked up, bud? What happened? Is he a dog shit attorney? He's just relitigating cases that he lost? Now that I'm the FBI director and I'm coked up out of my fucking mind, I'm gonna go relitigate cases that I lost. And that's basically what being a Republican is right now, is you guys are just relitigating the past. And while you're focused on the past, Donald Trump is just fucking torching our economy. And you're like, well, Crossfire Hurricane's coming.
And, I've been on both your shows in a prior life talking about it. And I'm telling you and the American public that we have now found material and information and people who wanted to hide it from the world since we got in these seats. And we, as the deputy said, we are trying to do it in a fashion where not only are we informing the American public of what happened, but we can have accountability for it. And that takes a little bit more time. And when you layer on the fact fact that we are rolling out our priorities on violent crime and defending the homeland, we're running a 3-part animal here, and we're going 100 miles an hour on each single one.
So much so I can't even provide a budget. I can't even provide the American people transparency. When I got sworn in, we will be the most transparent FBI in the history. Where's all this evidence of Crossfire Hurricane you're talking about? It's coming. Where's your budget? It's coming. What have they done? What are they providing transparency on right now? Have they provided so far? 8 minutes in, have they been transparent about anything? No. They've just said a bunch of things about the previous administration. Just their opinions. They can't back up any of it. There's no transparency. And this is the problem, Republicans, that I wish you guys could figure out before it's too late. Why do you care? Why do you care to defend them? Call balls and strikes. Either they're providing transparency or they're not. And they're not. And we all should be able to agree on that. Now, you might say they haven't had time to give transparency yet. And look, that's actually that's fair. But why are you giving them the benefit of the doubt? Why are you ever giving anybody in the government the benefit of the doubt? Until they're transparent, why are we calling them transparent? Because they say it a lot? Oh, we say we're going to be transparent. So you're just like, yeah, they are. If you start with the idea that you're going to trust your government because they're not the other side, then how much longer do you get lied to? How many more times does the president and his spokesperson have to tell you that this will not increase the deficit in spending? How many more times are you going to let the FBI director say, I'm fully transparent and not give you a budget? How long do you hold on to that? Like, oh, no, they are transparent. Every other FBI director has done it. Everybody else has been able to figure out how to do a fucking budget, but not these two coked up morons. No, not them. They're too busy waking up every day and beating off to punching immigrants in the face. Like, that seems to be all they care about.
Important.
Wait, I want to add to that, too, because what the director's saying is right. You got to remember, we come in the morning, there's a portfolio of 100 level 10 items. If it's a level 9, which is a pretty big freaking deal, someone else fixed it. The only thing that gets to my desk or his is a level 10. That's the entire day. Look at his schedule any given day. I'll show you the palm card I have. It is filled from 7:30 to he leaves 7 at night, 6:30 at night. It's filled all day. We just can't focus on one thing. You want New York to go boom? DC to go boom? You want an OC organization to go hack into some...
What the fuck is he talking about? What is he saying? Why did he just start talking? He's fighting. I don't know who he's talking about right now. Why is he even saying this? He's a psycho. This guy's an absolute fucking psycho. They're just talking, and he's like, oh, you guys think we don't do shit? Oh, we do shit. If we didn't do shit, this whole fucking place is gonna go boom. You want New York to go boom? You want DC to go boom? Look at my schedule. What the fuck are you talking about, man? Chill. Nobody asked you about any of that. What? This guy just, every time he gets a chance to speak, it's just fear-mongering. What the fuck are you doing? This guy's a lunatic.
Cyber network and crack all of Fox News' holdings. We're dealing with all that stuff too. Everything's a priority. Everything's a priority. This is one of many things we're doing. It's not an excuse. It's just reality.
Now, the Democrats are turning on you, right? I mean,
excuses can be reality, by the way. Like, again, what is he talking about? Why? I don't know why he's involved in this interview. Just every 5 minutes he comes in and he's like, we're all going to die. We are all so fucked if we're not here. It's like, all right, chill, dude. Chill.
I saw your hearing the other day, and critics have accused you of using the FBI to target political enemies. So set the record straight. You wrote an entire book about it, Government Gangsters. Tell us, how do you respond to the attacks?
Very simply, the FBI's prior leadership left us an institution, that is a police force for America and the world, that allowed a fentanyl overdose to occur and kill an American citizen every 7 minutes. That prior FBI's leadership, Comey, McCabe.
It's not again, wouldn't that be Border Patrol? Do you see how he does this? You're politicizing the FBI. The people accuse you of politicizing the FBI. Okay, well, instead of answering that question, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to talk about people that came before me. That's all I'm going to ever do. I'm never going to answer a question directly. I'm not going to own up to the fact that I am incredibly political. Let's just remember, this guy writes books. The Plot Against the King by Kash Patel, where Donald Trump is literally the king. Government Gangsters, The Deep State, The Truth, and the Battle for Our Democracy. Where he put the hit list on people. This dude is incredibly political. And in this book, in Government Gangsters, he has a list of people that he's going to go after on a political level. So when she asks, like, you're accused of this, he's like, let me just never answer this question. I'm going to talk about Comey some more.
Left us an FBI that allowed for a woman or child to be raped every 6.5 minutes in this country. That same leadership structure left us an FBI that permitted a man or woman to be
What's that sniff doing there, Kash? How come you guys are all so sniffy on camera? Got those big ass pupils and a lot of sniffing.
killed twice an hour in this country. That's our response to them. When I go to Congress and I go to the Hill, I say, hey, I'm not policing your neighborhood because it's a Republican or Democratic. I'm asking you for help on what your priorities are and what your resources needs are and where you need training, and we're going to send them to you. That's why we're putting 50.
He was just in front of the FBI. He didn't do any of that. So now he's just lying. We saw him in front of the FBI. He went there and they're like, hey, what money do you need? He's like, I don't know. Like, do you have a budget? How are we supposed to know where to give you money? What are you using the money for? I don't know. Well, we can't give you money without a budget. When are you going to have a budget? He's just like revisiting. I'm pretty sure what he's doing. I'm pretty sure that the only reason this interview exists is because he got absolutely embarrassed in front of Congress. So now he's coming and he's just rewriting history. When I go before Congress, I tell them, this isn't political. I'm in your neighborhood to solve this problem. We saw you in front of Congress, dipshit. You didn't say any of that. He didn't say any of this in front of Congress. He's just rewriting history. What happened is he went to Congress and he got his pants pulled down and they're like, bro, one, why are you wearing a pull-up? And two, do you have a budget? And he said, I'm wearing a pull-up just because, and I don't know where my budget is, and I don't know when I'm going to get it for you. But like, we all saw what you did in front of Congress, bud. You weren't this big badass. I go there and I tell them, I'm here to protect you, motherfuckers, and you're supposed to help me. Get me that money. What money do you need, sir? How much do you need? None of this happened. We just saw it.
1,500 FBI employees into the field and outside of Washington, D.C. Now, if the Democrats want to play politics with that, they're the elected officials. They get to say what they want. But yelling at me and Bongino, we could take it all day long.
I bet, bud. I bet. But you couldn't, because you were a little bitch in front of Congress. You just yelled at him. Bongino can't figure out what the fuck we're talking about in this interview. He just like has a rage coke snap every 5 minutes, and it's like, they're all gonna kill us. They're all gonna kill us. These are psychos. I couldn't believe when I was watching this interview. It's like, good Lord. Like, no decorum, no ability to like state anything. She asked, the question again there was like, what do you say to people who accuse you of being partisan? I say everybody else is bad.
And why? Why did they do that? I mean, why put the FBI and its reputation at risk? What, it was just to win an election? Why?
Because they're weak. Because they're weak. I hate weak people. I can't stand it. They didn't have. We're on TV, so I already.
Such a fucking psycho. They're weak. I fucking hate the weak. I'm rock fucking hard right now. My erections are strong. Bro, get it together. He's a psycho.
Said BS once, but they didn't have the guts, the courage, or the character to do the right thing. They did the easy thing.
What was
Donald
the right
Trump
thing?
became a convenient political football. They thought they could leverage. They thought with the media on their side that they'd get away with it.
I know that.
Get away with what? What is he talking about? And that's where Fox edited it, by the way. I'm going to go back for a second because they edit out a lot right here. I hope we get to see the full interview, because I think I have the sneaking suspicion Dan loses his shit and they have to cut it out because he's a psycho. But just listen to the cuts here.
At risk. What, it was just to win an election? Why?
Because they're weak. Because they're weak. I hate weak people. I can't stand it. They didn't have. We're on TV, so I already said BS once, but they didn't have the guts.
That's a cut. Don't know if they cut anything out there, but it could have just been because he paused.
The courage or the character to do the right thing. They did the easy thing. Donald Trump became a convenient political football. They thought they could leverage. They thought with the media on their.
Okay, just listen. They thought they could they thought they could leverage. Just think about the media. He's not saying anything. What is he saying? What are you talking about, dude? It's just like a series of buzzwords put together haphazardly into, I guess you could call it a sentence. He's just like starting ideas over and over, and he's not saying anything. I have no clue what he's talking about right now.
their side that they'd get away with it.
I know that there are cells.
And then there's the cut. Get away with what? What did they get away with? She's like, what were they going to get away with? Are they ever going to tell us what they got away with here at some point? What are we talking about here?
Drug trafficking cells and human trafficking cells. How significant is this in America?
It's everywhere. I mean, when you open up the border, look, that's not a political statement. The border was open for 4 years.
That's a political statement, you dumb shit. There's no such thing as an open border. There's no such thing as a closed border. It's as open now as it was then. It's open. It was open the whole time. You could go down there. I live in a border state. That motherfucker's been open as long as I've been alive. It's only a political statement. This is what they do. It's the Jedi mind tricks that work on you. This is not political, and then says something political and stupid. The border was open. It's been open. I traveled to and from Mexico during those times. It was open. There's no such thing as an open border. You're literally using political talking points to say it's not political.
So what happens is crime metastasizes. What happens is you have hundreds of thousands of illegals come across, and
then why is crime? Sorry to cut it. I have to cut everything. Crime went down. When we let all these people in, crime goes up. Then why did it go down? How does that work? If we let in more immigrants, then crime goes up. It went down, but it goes up, but it went down. It just goes up. It went down. It's still going down. All these people came in, crime dropped. What do you do about that? This is the problem with a coked up moron as the FBI director. He's just saying shit that he used to say on his podcast. He's relying on old data. That's what he's actually doing here. What you saw in 2021 and 2022, you saw an increase in both violent crime, but more than violent crime, you saw an increase in things like larceny and theft. The same type of stuff that you saw in 2008 and 2009. When people are poor, when people don't have money, crime goes up. And after the economy reopened, after you had 2 stimulus, it just dropped back down. So he's now saying all of that crime was actually caused by immigration. It was caused by poverty, and then it came back down. So his talking points are 3 years old here, but he's lazy, he's a cokehead, and he's a political fucking hack. And so when Republicans keep telling you this shit, that all this open border led to more crime, just ask them, then why did violent crime go down? Somebody explain that to me. If it goes down, how did it go up? You can't go up by going down. I'm pretty sure. I'm not a scientist, but I'm pretty sure that if crime goes down, it's not going up.
a bunch of them are really bad criminals. Not all of them, but a bunch of them. And then they nest into societies. And this is why we're rolling out Mexican street gang task forces across the country.
Yeah, Zach, this is the thing. That's the problem with you, Zach, is that I'm telling you things that are statistically true, and you're so fucking bird-brained and so invested in the cult of Donald Trump that when I tell you factual things, you're like, you're a fucking joke, man. How could you even say that? Because it's true. And you're mad that I just go look it up. Zach, go look it up. Go look up violent crime by year. All right, fuck it, we'll do it. Here's violent crime by year. This is violent crime since 1990 to 2023. Does it look like it's going up to you? Here's 2022. This is the spike in 2022. It was going down. It was going down. We had the pandemic. We had a spike. You had stimulus, spike, and then it's going down. And 2024 was we're waiting on the statistics in 2024. The FBI is projecting the violent crime. It dropped again in 2024. So just explain to me how violent crime went up when it went down. That's all we're wondering. And look, we act like the world is getting more and more violent. I was around in 1992. I was around for these days. I was around here. Here's when I graduated high school in 2004. The United States has less crime now than in 2004. Way less. We have been getting significantly less violent as a country. But violence doesn't, if you talk about violence, you ignore the fact that these two people are fucking idiots because they just have you scared. They're like, oh, these guys are tough on crime. No, they're not. They're tough on intelligence. They're real tough on intelligence. They show up and they fight intelligence and statistics every single day. It's the only thing they're fighting. They're great on stupidity. They're great on talking points. Fucking stupid when it comes to crime.
Because it's not the international gangs that are just the problem. It's these inner city gangs that exist in one or two towns here and there and have metastasized and taken over the drug trade, the sex trafficking trade, the child forced labor trade, and the gang trade. They are all in, and no one has been focusing on them because our cities and our elected leadership has allowed them to live without being policed. But that's over now that Dan and I are in the seat.
This is so scary.
Now, what kind of crime is skyrocketing? What kind of crime? I wouldn't say skyrocketing, but what kind of crime is going up in this country? Does anybody know? Trafficking is one of them. That was good. It was good to have him talk about trafficking. In fact, the FBI just recently arrested, I think it was like 219 people for human trafficking, all of them American citizens. Yeah, white collar crime is going up. I just want you to remember that. White collar crime is going up. I think 3.7 trillion last year in white collar crime. I think that was a record. $3.7 trillion. Just remember that. You're all gonna kill us!